Hey, how's it going, guys? Team TRE here, also known as the man that reviews everything. Today is the day that Viva Las Vengeance comes out, Panic at the Disco's latest album. Now, with this album, I had a chance to listen to it last night and also right now, right before I started recording. And I took some notes. I took 3 pages worth of notes on this entire album. And I can't wait to share my thoughts with you guys because this album made me really think about a lot. And I have a lot of opinions and feelings toward this album. So before we get into the review, I want to just say this. I said it before in one of my last Panic videos, but I'm not sure. For those of you who come in and see this for the first time, not knowing my past videos, I just kind of want to reiterate this to give myself some credibility so you guys know where I stand with Panic at the Disco and their music. One more thing before we get into the review. I'm also going to be doing album reviews for every single Panic at the Disco album. Since this album's coming out, I thought, why not? And I want to share my thoughts on each album, go through them. But I'm going to do reverse timeline order, meaning that since I started off with Viva Las Vengeance, I'm going to go to Pray for the Wicked next, and then Death of the Bachelor, and then so on. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button as well and have notifications on if you guys are interested in that. Those should be coming out the next few days. I think Pray for the Wicked album review will be tomorrow. I'm going to listen to it tonight, kind of dreading that. Don't really like that album. But you guys will know my thoughts why when I do an album review for it. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys are subscribed. It means a lot to me. And I know, sorry to all my movie subscribers. I know you guys are subscribed to me for the movie news and updates and, reviews. But right now, we're here to talk about some music. But I'll get into the movie news and stuff again this weekend. I know I'm going to have a video out for that, most likely tomorrow, because there's been some movie news going on around the industry, so I want to share all my thoughts and share that news with you guys. So stay tuned for those tomorrow, and again, we'll get back into the movies shortly. But for now, we're here to talk about Panic at the Disco's Viva Las Vengeance. So I've been a fan of Panic at the Disco ever since I was little. I want to say about 5 or 6 years old. I've had A Fever You Can't Sweat Out on my MP3 player when I was younger and listened to it all the time. I absolutely love that album. And thanks to my brother David, he's the one who really got me into the band. And I've been with them ever since. I've stuck through the changes for the good and the bad. Pray for the Wicked. I've been through it all, So with this album, I was very curious where Brendan was gonna take it, especially how he's going back to his Vegas roots, making this album a bit more personal. With the singles that were released, I did not think this album was gonna go places. I was like, oh my god, it's another average Panic at the Disco album, and I did not have any high hopes for this album. With the first single being released, the self-titled track Viva Las Vengeance, I actually did like that. I mean, at first it took me a bit to get used to. It was different. I didn't know exactly where he was going to be heading with this new sound, but it had me very curious, and I knew I wanted to stick through it and wait till the album came out. Then the second single that was released, Middle of a Breakup, when it first came out, I actually liked it. I liked the flow of it, and I liked just how it sounded. It sounded very different, very almost musical. But then Local God came out right after that for the third single, and that one, surprisingly, I did not like. Even with the meaning behind it. It's supposed to be about his ex-bandmate Ryan Ross and their friendship, back in the days. But even with that, I really wasn't a fan when that came out. And then the last single to be released before the album dropped, Don't Let the Light Go Out. It really surprised me. It really just shocked me in a way because it's so different than anything Panic has ever put out. It's different from the other singles, and it was making me very confused to where what is he doing with his sound and his music? Where is this album taking him, And so it had me very curious, but it was my favorite single that was released so far. And then the album came out, and then I listened to it, and then I kind of just sat there, and I was like, I love this album. I love this album so much, especially for me being a fan of Panic at the Disco from the very beginning. And to their most recent album, Pray for the Wicked, I was really let down with Pray for the Wicked. I was honestly ready to just be like, man, I don't know if I want to continue listening to Panic's music because I wasn't even that big of a fan of Death of a Bachelor. Yeah, there was a few good songs on that album, but as a whole, I don't think it's that great of an album. Especially Too Rare to Live, Too Rare to Die. It's an okay album. There's a few songs I really love on that album, but that's about it. I'm not a big fan of those albums, as I am with Vices and Virtues, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Those are the two best albums in my opinion. Even Pretty Odd. Pretty Odd has its handful of songs that I like, but not every song does it for me. They really try to go full on Beatles with that album, thanks to Ryan Ross. I don't blame Ryan Ross. Without Ryan Ross, Panic at the Disco would not exist. So I love Ryan. And, after this album, I really hope that him and Brendan can connect and, make something. I'll talk a little bit more about that down the line in this review. But this album was a very huge surprise to me. It was very shocking. I really did not expect to love this album. I honestly expected to be let down with this album like I did for Pray for the Wicked. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get an average alternative like rock album from Panic, and it's not even gonna be that good. And I was like, I'm not ready for this. But this album fucking blew me away. It blew me away, and I know a lot of fans are going to either agree with me or disagree with me. I've been seeing a lot of fans on Reddit either saying how much they love this album or how much they fucking hate this album. So it's completely split. The critics, though, they love this. They love this album. It's a huge, huge homage and callback to 60s, 70s, 80s rock bands. And I even wrote a little list of artists that I kind of hear throughout this album. The biggest influence is Queen. And the only man who can really imitate Queen, I think, is Brendan Urie. I have not seen any artists in the alternative rock game do anything like Queen. He went for it, and he did really good at it. It's just, maybe there's other bands out there who have done it before and who have done a better job possibly than Brendan, but I have not heard it. And so from what I have heard personally, Brendan fucking killed it. I loved it. But other than Queen, I hear Journey, I hear the Beatles, I heard Beach Boys, Billy Joel, Elton John, The Cure, Thin Lizzy, as Brendan really called out earlier today on the Today Show. And so for him to collect all those styles of music, pay homage to it, and do really good at it, proves to me that Brendan is a true musician. He's a very good composer too, with everything and all the songs. So good. And that's the thing, I want to talk about all the songs right now because I wrote notes on each of them. So they're not going to be long, they're going to be kind of quick and a little bit in depth. I'll go into the ones, that especially the ones that I like, I'll go in depth with them. So starting off with the opening track, Viva Las Vengeance. At first, like I said, it took me a bit to get used to it and to kind of get familiar with that sound. It really just had me curiously wondering, where is Brendan taking this album? But I really think that this song is a really good opener for this album and for the story he's telling. I really like the sound a lot. It sounds really fucking good, and I love it a lot more than I did the first time than I heard it. It really grew on me, and I just love the sound. I really love his vocals, especially in the ending. And that's one thing too, with the whole first 4 songs that were released as singles. It just felt like he was screaming, overusing his vocals too much, and that's another thing I heard fans talking about as well. Some loving it, some hating it. And at first, I was on the side of hating it. But after listening to the rest of the songs and the complete album, I think he uses his vocals perfectly, and I think it's really, really good, especially compared to the singles that were released. I think a lot of the songs that weren't released are better than some of the singles. But to get back to talking to the songs, Viva Las Vengeance, really fucking good. I love it. I really do. Middle of a Breakup. Now, this is my least favorite song on the entire album. I really question its importance to the album, the meaning behind it. It's funny because at first I really did like the song. I liked the flow, I liked the way he was singing, but then once I heard the rest of the album, I was like, this is definitely the weakest song. And it just doesn't fit, in my opinion. It really doesn't. And it just sounds like he was trying to be really fun and poppy with it, almost like a musical. Like when I watched it for the first time, you guys can go watch my video for that when I did a reaction video for Middle of a Breakup. I said it sounded like Grease, like a musical, and that's sort of what the music video was like as well. But it just, to me, doesn't fit in the album. The third song, Don't Let the Light Go Out, I fucking love this song so much. I really do. I love the guitar, I love the acoustic, and I love the guitar solo. I love his chorus, and I love the vocals he uses. I think he used it all perfectly. I really love it. And that's the thing. I feel like I haven't used the word love with a Panic at the Disco song in so long. The last time I said I loved a Panic at the Disco song, I think it was on Vices and Virtues, and that came out like 2011. So it's been a fucking long time since I've loved a Panic at the Disco song, but this one I really do love. The sound is really nice, his chorus is really nice, I like it a lot. Definitely one of my favorites off the album. The fourth one, Local God. I really love the meaning to this song, and it's funny, again, at first I did not like this song, I really didn't, but after hearing the album as a whole, knowing the meaning behind it, it makes me love this song a lot more, and it makes me appreciate it than I did the very first time that I heard it. I think that the lyrics are really personal to Brendan. I feel like this whole entire album is the most personal, most Brendan has ever been, really Brendan, if that makes sense. This is Brendan's sound, and this is something he should have been doing after Vices and Virtues. Something he should have been doing with Ryan Ross, honestly, because I feel like this is what Ryan wanted to do the entire time. But Brendan wanted to take the music somewhere different. But now that he's going in the similar style of Ryan, this is why I'm saying they should come back and make music together. I think Ryan would really love this album. It sounds like his style. The artists that Brendan is incorporating into this album are the same exact artists that they grew up with and they absolutely adored with each other, you know? This is what made them want to make music in the first place. And now that Brendan's doing it without Ryan, if he can incorporate Ryan into it, goddamn, dude, they're gonna be on a roll. I'm very curious, but like I was telling my brother yesterday too, I'm wondering what kind of music they would make together, because I feel like they're just at two different points of their lives right now. You know, we don't know what Ryan is going through or what he's doing. With Brendan, with this album, we kind of know what he's going through now. And he's about to go on tour, you know, so it's going to be, again, a while till he makes music. So I'm very curious to see what their music together would sound like now. So moving on to the fifth one, Star Spangled Banner. This was the first song that none of us has ever heard. And it really, really had me thinking at first, when I heard it, I was like, yeah, we're going down the same path as fucking Pray for the Wicked. Like, this is all over. I wanted to give up. I was like, God damn it. But then I continued listening to it, and I only felt that way with the chorus, really. I wasn't that big of a fan of the chorus. But when he starts singing the verse and his little flow comes out, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, Brendan's really fucking doing this. This is really different than anything Panic at the Disco has really ever put out. Brendan especially. So fucking different. He really went out and tried it. And this is going to be a song that a lot of fans aren't going to love. But there are going to be people, a few amount of people who do like this song. And they're going to really fuck with it. But me, I'm a person who's like, yeah, it's really cool and it's nice that it's different, but it's not one of the best songs on the album. And so moving on to the sixth song, God Killed Rock and Roll. This one really kind of blew me away. Immediately I heard Queen. With the soft piano ballad in the beginning, the lyrics reminded me of Freddie Mercury and the way he was trying to sing. I'm not saying that he was on the Freddie Mercury level, but he was imitating his style, and he was doing a good job at it. And the change up in this song too on the second half was really unexpected, but I really liked what I heard. And this song too sounds like a rock opera. That's what the whole second half of this album sounds like to me. It just sounds like a huge rock album. It sounds like a Vegas show. It just sounds Vegas, and this is where Brendan is from. He's going back to the roots, and that's what I love about it. You know, he actually just went back and did really good rock music, and I really appreciate that. I'm glad that he did. But this song, God Killed Rock and Roll, man, it's a really good one. I like it. The outro too was really good, and I like the way he used his voice in the outro. And then now number 7, Say It Louder. Say It Louder drew my attention right away. It really caught me with that guitar and the lyrics. I feel like this was the most personal lyrics that he went with on the album. I really liked it. and I feel like he was just calling out all the fans who hate him. And I loved it. I just thought that was really awesome, and I couldn't believe he really did that. And it just has that rock sound that is just so good, and I'm gonna just be bumping this album. Not only I'm going to be bumping this album, but this song specifically. This is one of my favorite songs off the album. And again, the change up in this song is so good. It's really fucking good. And the breakdowns in it are just really, really cool and unique from a Panic sound. And that's the thing. Going back to when Viva Las Vengeance first came out, I would not have think I really love this album as much as I do, or be praising each song as much as I'm praising it. Really, I did not expect this. Brendan just fucking went for it. He tried something completely different that the fans, he knew that some of them won't like it, but some of the fans will. And I'm in that category where I love it. And he did such a good job on this album. I'm so proud of him. And then number 8, that one is Sugar Soaker. Now this one honestly was like not the strongest either, in my opinion. I honestly first thought it was not enough cowbell. It was funny, that's just one of the first instruments that I heard right away was the cowbell. But I thought the instruments sounded nice. I wasn't a big fan of the chorus. My favorite instrument though in the song was the guitar. I thought that was actually pretty cool. The verses though are better than the chorus in my opinion. I really like the verses. And there's a part in the song where it kind of changes, or it sounds like it's going to change up and do a different sound, but it really doesn't. It goes right back to the original sounding of the song. And I was kind of let down by that. I was hoping for something awesome, something really cool, but it just went back to the sound. But again, to me, this song was not the strongest off the album. And so number 9, Something About Maggie. This one is really crazy, and I can't believe he really kind of did it, because this one is all over the place. It really is. And again, it sounded like Queen, but the way he did it, it's so different, and I feel like fans aren't really gonna like this one. To me, I do like it. I think it's a really good song, because I think, yes, since he is all over the place, the song sounds very different throughout the entirety of itself, but it works. He does it into a way where he makes it work and it still sounds good. To me though, it's not one of my favorites off the album, but it's still a good song on this album. It's one that I will occasionally listen to, meaning that it's not one that I'm going to immediately go to and listen to all the time, like Say It Louder or Don't Let the Light Go Out. Now on the 10th song, Sad Clown. I fucking love this song so much. I really fucking do. I woke up this morning and I could not stop thinking about this song. I couldn't stop thinking about the music video either, because last night my brother sent me the music video for it. I was not expecting a music video for this song specifically, but the music video was dope as fuck. It was awesome. The choreograph in that music video was awesome. The sound, the song, I loved it. I loved it all. But the thing I love the most about this song is how different it is. The sounding, his vocals, the flow of how he's just singing it. Again, the lyrics too sound very personal, and I love it. I really do. The change up in this song at the end, or in the middle, sorry, it's really fucking good, and something I did not expect at all. I was like, dude, how is Brendan Urie making this sound? He went from making High Hopes to fucking making this. I was like, I cannot believe my ears right now. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Brendan's really surprising the fuck out of me. And I love it. I love it. I love this song a lot. And then so the 11th song, All By Myself. It's a nice song. I do like it. It's one that I can listen to for sure. I'm not a big fan of the verses, but the chorus really has me. When I first heard it, it really had me thinking a lot and reflecting a lot about my life. Because he was like, you can change it all by yourself. And I was like, dude, I'm in a position too where I'm like really reflecting on myself too at the moment. And so this song really did hit me. Like, I was like, dude, the song is actually really good. But again, I like the chorus more than I do the verse. I thought the verse was it was okay, but the chorus really did it for me. And then so the last song on the album, Do It to Death. This one was very interesting. It sounded a lot like Journey, and I like the verses, but the whole I think this is a chorus where he's like, take me to the limit, I like that one. Like when he started singing that, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. But then everything else with the song, the transition into the second half, it sounded really good and really cool. I really liked it. The sound attracted me. The production too. This whole album is recorded on an 8-track tape. So when you do that, you really have to perform it in the studio, like if you're doing it live. It's not digitally recorded or digitally added instruments. It's all like in the same room going on at the same time. So this whole album sounded really good. This song too, it sounded like a glam rock, type of song. Very glamorous, very Vegas. Again, this whole album just reminded me of like a Vegas show, and that's why Queen really stood out to me in influences for them. Because when I hear Queen, I always think of theatrics, opera, because that's to me what their music was. It was always like a big rock opera, especially Bohemian Rhapsody. And I know Brendan is a huge fan of Queen and Freddie Mercury, so I'm glad he took those elements of Queen and brought them into his music, and he did a really good job. The outro, and this is something that he kind of uses throughout the whole album too, when he involves the strings and the orchestra of the violins and all of them. He does such a good job. That's what I'm saying. He's a really good composer. He used them perfectly. Every time they were used in this album, it was perfect. It was really perfect, and that's what I'm saying. I have not heard any other artists doing a sound like this, especially in the alternative rock genre. I mean, again, I have not heard a lot of alternative rock artists this year, but Brendan has really stood out to me, and I'm very curious to see if there's anything better or similar to sounding like this album. Pretty much what I'm trying to ask is, are there other artists implementing elements from Queen, Elton John, Billy Joel, The Cure, all the other artists I named? Are they implementing those sounds into their music? Because right now, Brendan is the first one I've heard. I am open to listening to other artists to see if they've done better than Brendan, but right now, since he's the only one I've heard, he takes the spot, man. He really does it. This album is definitely the third best album Panic at the Disco has ever released, and I know a lot of fans are going to disagree with me. And again, that's okay. This is my opinion. This is my thoughts on the album. I'm sure you guys clicked on this album because you guys want to know what other people think of the album. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm letting you guys know what I think. And I'm saying this because I've been seeing people on Reddit be really mean and rude to the fans of Panic at the Disco. They will post their opinion on the album saying, oh, I did not like it that much. And then so the people on Reddit who love this music and love the album, they just dog on the people. They go so mean. They make fun of their profile picture if it's them, and they really just say a lot of harsh things. I'm like, you guys don't need to take it that far. Like, it's okay to have a different opinion than somebody else, but you don't have to be mean with it. So if you guys want to be mean to me, go ahead, go for it. I'm open to debating with you guys and sharing my thoughts. So I'm really curious to see what you guys had to think. But, I'm going to be nice about it, when I talk about you guys. But if you guys want to be mean or rude, go ahead. It's not going to care. I don't care. It's just my opinion. You guys have yours. We're all entitled to our own opinion at the end of the day. And if you disagree with me or agree with me, then cool. That's your opinion, and I'm not going to judge you or think about you otherwise. That's your opinion. And that's why I wanted to mention that I have been a fan of Panic at the Disco since I was 5. I love Panic. They're one of my favorite bands, and their music has done so much for me. They've really made a huge impact on my life and a huge influence. I love this band. And for him to do this album, do way better than fucking Pray for the Wicked, and do way better than Death of a Bachelor and the Two Where to Live, Two Where to Die, I'm really amazed, and I'm really proud of Brendan. I really am. And I'm super surprised, man. He really just blew my expectations out of the water. My expectations are down here. Really down here, like so far below the camera you guys can't see, but now, like, the album is up there. I would rank, no, I'll save that because I was going to rank the albums right now. But I also decided that since this album's coming out, I'm going to review all of Panic at the Disco's albums. I'm going to be listening to them, taking notes on them again, and making review videos for them for you guys, so you guys know where I stand on each album. And I'm also going to go in reverse timeline. Meaning, since I'm doing Viva Las Vengeance, the next album of Panic at the Disco that I will be reviewing will be Pray for the Wicked. And that one, I know a lot of you fans love that album. You guys are probably 16, 15-year-old fans. Or the first Panic at the Disco album you ever heard was Death of a Bachelor or Pray for the Wicked. So you guys would absolutely adore and love those albums. I totally get it. But I am a person who has been with them since the very beginning. Love that original sound. Love that emo shit. So I have a completely different outlook on Panic and their music. And this album, like I said many times, blew me out of the water. And so I can't wait to go over the new reviews for you guys. And I also ranked these songs on the album, and I want to share my rankings with you. So I'm going to start the ranking from the worst song to what I think is the best song. So the worst song, starting off at number 12, is Middle of a Breakup. Don't like that song. I really wish it wasn't on the album at all. Everything else from here on out, I do like, but it's going to take me a little bit more getting used to. I know this next one, number 11, Sugar Soaker, I'm on the fence about. It's either I'm going to like it or I'm not going to like it. Right now, I'm more on the part where I'm like, I don't like it, but I'll have to listen to it a bit more. The number 10, Something About Maggie. I dropped my pen. Number 9, All By Yourself. Number 8, Star Spangled Banner. Number 7, Do It to Death. Number 6, Local God. Number 5, God Killed Rock and Roll. Number 4, Viva Las Vengeance. Number 3, Don't Let the Light Go Out. Number 2, Say It Louder. And number 1, Sad Clown. Sad Clown is my favorite off the album. So different, so unique, very different to anything Panic at the Disco's ever put out, and I am a huge fan of it. So I think this is going to do it for my Panic at the Disco Viva Las Vengeance album review. This is going to be a long video. I imagine it being like 20-25 minutes long. So yeah, hopefully if you guys stick through it all and listen to everything I had to say, it means so much to me. Thank you guys. I really love this album. I want to know what you guys thought. You guys probably won't like it. You guys probably won't. I totally forgot I did not rate the album, so let's do it right now. So real quick, I'm going to go over this quick because I got something to do right now. So with the production and sound for Viva Las Vengeance, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It was honestly really fucking good, and I was not expecting this at all. And lyrically, I thought his lyrics have improved a lot, especially from the singles he released. I really thought this album was going to take us somewhere different. He really sold us on the first 4 songs, and it, like I said, blew me out of the water. So for the lyrics, I'm going to give it a 3. And now for the influence, this album, man, I'm going to give it a 4. This influence on me, man, really surprised me, really impacted me. And even for the alternative genre, alternative rock, I think this is really different from what's getting put out right now. And it's a nice callback and homage to the old 60s, 70s, and 80s rock bands. I love it. I'm so glad he did that. But for the entirety of the album as a whole, for the casual listeners, I don't think that they will really pick up on this album. I think some will be like, whoa, this is Panic at the Disco? Like, this is what they're making now? I think a lot of people will be impressed and like a few songs. So I'm going to give it a C because I really think it's going to be mixed. Even with the fans. I see a lot of fans loving it, hating it. So I really, it's just mixed. But I'm going to give it a B- for the fans. And for me personally, I'm going to give it an A. I love this album. I'm comparing it to Pray for the Wicked. I was extremely let down by that album. I can't even really listen to that album. I have to listen to it again tonight so I can give you guys a proper review for it tomorrow, but I'm kind of even dreading that. I'm like, dude, I don't want to listen to that album, but I will because I want to see if my thoughts will change about the album or will it not, so. But this is definitely a big major step in his music, and I'm so fucking proud. It's so good. I love it. So that's why I'm giving it an A. It's one of my favorites right now. And definitely one I'm going to be listening to for maybe the next month or so. I don't know. But that has been my album review for Viva Las Vengeance. Again, thank you guys for sticking all the way through. If you guys have, it means a lot to me. This album is a really good one. I want to know what you guys thought about the album in the comment section down below. Let me know all your thoughts. I'm very curious. And if you guys disagree with me, let's try to be nice about it, but if not, then that's cool too, but yeah, so thank you guys. It really means a lot. This album's awesome, so go check it out if you guys haven't. My name's TMTRE. I hope you guys have a good day today. Stay safe, spread the love, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.